video because I always forget this kind of stuff later on.
The rear end has got a Detroit locker with, he said, chrome moly axles. I've never had the thing apart, so I couldn't verify any of this stuff.
But, I mean, if it's not leaking, why tear it down, you know?
Well, this pumpkin here was leaking around the outside, and the bolts were loose, so I tightened it down.
But you weren't getting any leaks on the ends coming out?
No,
by the drums, right?
no.
Yeah, that's good.
This collar here is supposed to be some heavy-duty collar for the pinion.
Yeah.
I think these are Tom Woods. There's a sticker somewhere. They're Tom Woods drive shafts, front and rear.
Yeah.
I think it's a Dana 300, not real sure. I put new mufflers on it. The mufflers were all rotted out, so I put new ones on it.
Yeah.
It's got headers. I've never really done a whole lot to it. I never really cared for these. I thought they were kind of cheesy put on there.
Yeah, there's a little drop bracket so you have to get the new
But they drop them down so it'll steer a little bit better. Like I say, fresh 302, C4.
And then your locker in the rear is not an electronic. That's regular
Detroit, it's a mechanical.
Yeah.
As soon as, no matter how fast you're going. Matter of fact, if you drove, I've never felt it, but my brother's got a Shelby Cobra, Shelby Mustang. The Cobra's the roadster. And when he drives down the street at about 25 or 30, you feel it go clunk.
Yeah.
See, he's got
I have a 71 in it, and you go around the corners. Every time I go around a corner, when I drop the shift, because it's a 4-speed FP 435, as soon as you shift, you feel it.
Yeah.
And
I can't say that I've really heard it in here, and I'm not saying I haven't, but it's got a body lift. It's got like a 5-inch lift on it. This is all stuff for that motor.
Yeah, all the wires coming down to it.
What it boils down to, I played havoc getting this motor, but it's a Chevy part number, brand new.
All right.
Paid $100 for that bad boy.
Yeah,
I just never put it on.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Here's the wiring for it. He kind of did a Mickey Mouse setup, but this is all it right here.
Yeah, just kind of.
Yeah, I think that might be the power that he never hooked up. It's always been laid around there, and I hate Mickey Mouse stuff, but I never did nothing with it.
Well, I mean, most of my Broncos, I've never even had to engage the front anyways with the tires and lift they're running, and with the Detroit in the rear, I usually don't even need to engage it, so not worried about it right off.
That's a custom gas tank. It's like 22 gallons.
Yeah, 23 gallon. Probably looks similar to a Tom's.
Okay.
Same ones I'm running.
The filler neck rotted out one day, and I think I put a piece of radiator hose on it. Then I ordered this custom setup, as you see, brand new. Never put it on. I'll throw that in there. I have. Oh, I didn't get the insert. Damn it. You take the top off. There's plastic inserts that go in here.
Yeah, the little half.
Yeah, I've never installed them. I don't know how, never had them on there.
Yeah, well, when we could take care of that when he comes out to get this off top and everything else.
Like I told you, Dad, we've corresponded for the last month. Yeah. We went into detail. You guys have kept your I mean, I've had plenty of people that wanted to buy it, and it was really hard for me to do this, wait so long, because first come, first serve.
Yeah.
But I talked to you guys earlier on. Your dad called me back. Believe it or not, I had guys saying, I've got money in hand, I'll meet you. They never even showed up. I mean, there's people online that
because I was in Denver.
They have nothing better. I had a guy who wanted to buy a set of welding tanks. He called me all day long. I got home. I emailed him and said, okay, I'm home now. We can do this. My business is taken care of. He wouldn't call me back or nothing. So I emailed him again. I said, look, dude, I said, if you don't want them, I'll sell them to somebody else. He finally emails me back and he goes, well, you go ahead and do that. The guy called me 23 times during the day, said, oh, I don't want no one else to get them. I want them,
Yeah.
So, this is what you deal with.
I was in Denver the week the flood happened.
Yeah, he said that you work in Denver or something.
Well, we have an office out there, so I'm out in Denver about once a month.
Oh.
So I was downtown, and I'm like, oh, well,
and that's why it was
I'm
the
here,
day
and
before
I had
the
a guy
flood.
that I work with this from Kansas City, and he was like, well, I'll go with you and drop you off up there. And that's when we thought we could drive it down to Denver and then trailer it from there.
Driving it down to Denver wouldn't have been a problem. I don't think I'd want to drive it all the way to
Not all the way
back to the place.
No.
Here's the thing. It's got 456 gears.
Yeah.
And with an automatic, It's not a freeway driver.
Yeah, because that'll be running at like 65. You're probably pushing around 35, 32.
goes like a mile.
I don't have a tack, but it buzzes pretty good. And as a mechanic, I just don't like to.
He goes about
Definitely.
a mile from the house to his school, so I
Oh,
don't think
well,
it'll
he
be.
shouldn't have any trouble.
We'll probably just leave the gears there.
I tore a tendon in my leg the other day.
Steve, I got pictures of your big
And
bronco.
let me tell you, you talk
Here,
about
you gotta look
pain.
at this thing.
Really?
I didn't get my glasses. I just remember, I'm like, well, I got my computer. Okay. That's the kid
Oh,
who
that's a
wanted
nice
the
one.
Bronco. This was going to be for him, but he can't drive
A stick.
A manual.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, great. So this, he said, I'll take that. You know, but this one was, oh, that's Eli. This has got the 351 engine in it.
Ah.
And this, bar winch.
But that's the 15-year-old. He turned 16 in May.
You're giving this to him?
Well,
Man.
he will drive it to and from school,
Whoa,
and not in the
kid.
not in the
I had to
winter
work
time.
for my stuff, man.
Yeah.
I didn't get nothing for it. No,
Well-
my dad, I shouldn't say that. My dad is the reason I am who I am today, because of my dad. He
Well,
bought me dirt bikes. We were into dirt bikes. I raced desert for 15 years, so.
I asked if I could try to get a motorcycle or dirt bike. That
No
one
way.
decided not going to happen.
I'll tell you what.
So I settled for trucks.
Between dirt bikes and drag bikes, I spent 15 days in a coma from a drag bike that blew up at 172.
You're not helping.
Hey, it dragged me across I was in the right lane, it dragged me across that, slammed me on the guardrail, threw me off. I was on my back doing 170 miles an hour and the motorcycle was spinning and came through the air. And this is an 800-pound motorcycle, drag bike, and it crushed me, and I spent the next 44 days in a hospital.
Oh my gosh.
They told me I'd never ride motorcycles again, or I'd become a master mechanic and I've had 10,000 motorcycles. This leg here, I shattered in a desert race. It's $65,000 to put it back together.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And you're still riding motorcycles?
Every chance I get.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Every
well,
chance I get.
Well, he got a little help because
This is the
I like
69.
Broncos, so
Okay,
that's
this is the 69 that this is replacing. That's the one we're going to sell.
Okay.
And that's the one that, of
When
course,
we got it, it
he's
had a
done.
hole in the gas tank. The
Oh.
carburetor was all messed
That's
up.
That's one other thing I want to share with you. And this happened when the other guy owned it. When they put these side things on, these holes went in and punctured somewhere in this auxiliary tank. I don't know where it is, but somewhere the auxiliary tank, and the train station, the valve switch, this all works.
okay.
That works, and there's a switch right here.
Yep, you got your gauge switch
Yeah,
up here.
it all
tank
works,
switch
and the
there.
gauge works and everything.
He just got a puncture, so
But if you fill this up, you will smell gas.
yeah, that's not a big deal. I got a spare auxiliary
All these
and main.
shocks, I don't know, a couple $300 a piece. It's got Fox shocks all the way
Yeah.
around. It rides like a Mack truck going down the road. These tires are not soft whatsoever. They're rock hard, and that rough suspension. So what I always did is I let the tires down low a little bit. I know you can adjust the nitrogen, and I have a nitrogen tank. I just never got around to it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's the engine on the 69. Its claim to fame is its engine and mechanics on it. But it has no lift on it. It needs to be painted. Other than that, it's got some spotty rust back here. And the guy went and welded new pans in the front, but the one on the side has a gap between, on the passenger side, between the sidewall and the other. You know, just a small one. And so we're like, well, okay.
And it has no cluster.
What?
I just noticed a lip right here.
That's a new pan they put in.
This
there.
is a new pan they put in?
Yeah.
That would have been a pan. They take a
I've
they
had this
make,
thing years, and I never noticed that.
Because you can see on the other side, he had bolts on there, but then again, you can't see because you got the auxiliary. But yeah,
I never knew that.
on the other side, he's got a
So why
pan
did it-
under there too.
I can't imagine the pan's being rusted out because he grew up in Arizona. It's only been in Colorado for 7 years.
Who knows?
Some guys just do it. It just happens, and it's one of these things. I mean, it's a 40-year-old truck. You
Well,
do as you might. It might
you can look
happen
at it.
eventually.
I was going down 36 a couple years ago, and I saw this pretty blue Bronco sitting in a field, man. They just put it out with a... That was before I got this one. I went back, and the paint job was $1 million. And when you looked at it, it didn't even look like rust. It was like real bright rust.
Yeah.
Just incredible. and the whole thing, the frame, everything
If you
was a
blew
rust
on it, it would
bucket.
have fallen off.
And I thought, why did they put this beautiful $1,000 paint
Lipstick on a
job?
pig.
What do you get when you polish a turd? A polished turd.
I mean, and you get that
You
with
know?
some of these guys all the time. They try to do that, flip it for someone who is trying to get into them, doesn't know what they're looking at.
Yes, I don't know.
Because I've seen it a lot. But
Well, you want to hear it?
I was gonna say.
yeah, we'll fire it up, test it, and I'll take a look at the
Yeah,
end.
but these are, because I looked into this and basically, they weld them in, but that other guy did his own welding and obviously didn't know what the hell he was doing.
Well, see,
he
like
did a
I told him-
combination of welding and rivets.
Like I told him, I didn't like the way these were put in either.
Yeah.
I wasn't real impressed
Those
with
are
those.
the drop brackets you were talking about with the lip
Yeah.
you're going to put on that. That's
You gotta
But-
weld
what it is.
those on.
They've been on there since he built the thing. So.
Well, you gotta dry.
Yeah,
You
well, he's got a
when
thick
the
weld
high-
in
When
it.
you lift it over 3 inches, you gotta buy
Well,
long
yeah,
brackets.
it helps the
Drop them
geometry of
down.
the steering.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not too worried about the welding stuff. I'm a master welder. I took classes all through high school, took them in college stuff. So
Man, let me tell you, that's half the battle right there.
yeah.
Well, what we did, right now, we just had ours towed right before we talked to you. The tow truck took that green one out because I got tired of this guy after 3 weeks, and he was telling me stuff that I knew was wrong. I talked to the guy that built the 71, and they're all like, "Man, this guy either doesn't know what he's doing or he's screwing."
Sounded to me, every time you said he needed 200 here, 200 there.
Oh, it's crazy.
And when you said the bearings fell out of the
Transfer
case.
case.
How?
He turned it upside down.
So what?
You put them back in.
He's
they're,
like,
they're
"Oh, I
designed-
gotta take
everybody
this,
goes,
I'm gonna
Wait a
have
minute,
it
did he
rebuilt."
take it apart?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
No, but he did. When I looked
Yeah, he
at
did.
it,
It's in 2 pieces.
well, there's
he
the
pulled
front
the
thing,
adapter
though.
off of it.
Yeah. But what they said was if there's grease holds them in there, and if you tilt it the wrong way, those bearings will fall out. Or you got to put grease in there, and then you got to put the bearings back in. And then when you put them together, the gears, there's little notches that the bearings inside of this. There's a gear with little notches, and so you grease it up and you set those bearings in each of the notches, and the grease holds it in place
Right.
until you can put the gear in there, which then permanently holds them in place. So he pulled this front part out so there was nothing holding it in.
Well, I found 2 of them in the driveway.
Yeah.
no.
Yesterday she found two
Yeah.
in
So-
the
That
driveway.
don't sound
We
good.
pulled it back from the guy, took it to another mechanic I've worked with before who's done a pretty good job with me in the past, and I was like, here, you fix it.
Well, let's
Take care of
crank her
this
up.
guy.
Yeah.
His name's Art. He's
Yeah.
got hair down to here, long, left over from the early 70s.
Yeah.
He really knows what
But
he's doing.
before I forget, because I always try to forget these kind of things, and I don't want to have to keep hassling you constantly. What oil are you running in it right now?
I don't know. I've never changed the oil.
All right.
And that's why. That's how many miles I've put on this thing. I'll
Okay.
bet I haven't put 500 miles on this thing.
All right.
He
Then
told
I'll
me
probably
it
just
just
switch out the stuff from running and all the other ones.
He told me that he just changed the oil, and I'll bet I haven't put 1,000 miles on it.
All right. Because I usually just try to check on this stuff. Most of mine I'm running
What
just a
kind of oil you
synthetic
run?
blend. I use a European synthetic blend. It's like a 5W40.
Why?
They've been doing okay. I checked with a few guys, a couple mechanics. Like I checked with Wild Horses, a few other guys.
You
and
know,
I was like, hey.
with all due respects, I'm a master mechanic. I've been tuning wrenches since I was younger than you. And Folsom, I worked for the town of Mammoth Lakes, and we took 2 brand new Jeeps. They were police cars. They're sister cars. We put 1540 regular oil in this one. We put engineered lubricators. You heard of them? It's
Not too much.
they make oil for everybody else.
Yeah.
Anyway, we took their oil synthetic and put it in this. And after 50,000 miles and regular service, you know, because that's one good thing about a county or a city, they got great maintenance.